Today we're going to look at the 2011 Kia Optima EX. This is a very closely related car to the Hyundai Sonata, which we reviewed last summer, and we liked it. Fuel efficiency was great, the power was pretty good, there's a lot of room inside, there's a big trunk, and most of all it was affordable. And all those things added up made it for a really good family sedan. Now this model, as a Kia, they're trying to differentiate themselves with a little more sporting intention, something maybe akin to a Mazda 6, or, they strive to be a BMW, everyone does, but, a Mazda might be a close competitor for this car. This is firmed up a little bit. The steering is a little more direct. There's a decent weight to it. We really complained about the Sonata steering. This is better than that. The Sonata steering was a mess. This is much better, more planted. Brakes are a little firmer, but probably still a little on the soft side for an enthusiast. The transmission is pretty good. It's really responsive. In fact, we're going to take it out for a spin right now. It's the same engine as in the Sonata, and we really liked it there, and we like it now too. It's a 2.4 liter direct injection 4-cylinder. Naturally aspirated. They do make a turbo model for this car, but that's not what we're talking about today. This is a 200 horsepower, and like I said, naturally aspirated. It's pretty responsive. It'll rev freely, and the torque isn't bad either. The biggest asset for this package mechanically is probably the 6-speed transmission. It's really smartly tuned, it's responsive, and it matches well to this engine, keeping it simultaneously in the power when you need to, but also dropping down to low RPMs to give exceptional fuel economy. We're getting over 30 miles per gallon in this car, and as you know, we drive them pretty hard. So that's pretty impressive for a full-size family sedan like this. There's a lot of room in the back seat. In fact, for me, I'm a 6-foot average frame guy. With the seat adjusted the way I'd like it, there's still plenty of room for me to sit behind myself with room to spare. And you can't say that about a lot of sedans these days. We know for fuel efficiency and everything, cars are probably going to start heading smaller, but here they've been able to pull off a 34 mile per gallon highway average in a car that still has decent room for a full family inside. And we like that about the Optima. It's a nicely trimmed cabin too. Of course, we're in the top line EX model. There's a few things this doesn't have, but for the most part, this has leather trim. In fact, pretty classy because we've got the tan leather trim over the black accented dash and door panels, and together with some neat stitching and stuff, it actually gives this a fairly upscale look. And that's something that a few years ago we couldn't say about Hyundai or Kia. So if we had to complain, we'd probably say this center stack. Although really laid out nicely with large buttons and good writing, good logical layout with groupings and everything, it's kind of an odd design. It's a little bit of an afterthought. We've seen nicer, more flowing. In fact, we liked the Hyundai Sonata center stack better than this. But this Kia does come with a great steering wheel, smaller diameter. It feels like a pretty sporting steering wheel, actually. And we like the gauges. They're easily readable in the daylight with good backlighting. We've also got some fake wood trim around the cabin, but compared to what some people put out as their fake wood trim, this actually looks pretty pleasing to the eye. There's an eco button as well. This recalibrates a few things in transmission and engine calibration to really squeeze out every last drop. We haven't been running it in that mode actually, and we're still getting above 30 miles per gallon, so there's some potential there probably for more, although it really kind of slows the transmission down and dumbs it up a little bit. As enthusiasts, we kind of frown on that. I'll pay a few extra pennies at the pump to have the responsive transmission that this offers. The rest of the package is all there. This has a lot of luxuries actually for a Kia. Again, a few years ago you wouldn't get any of this stuff in a Kia, but in this model we've got heated rear seats, believe it or not, heated front seats, plus cooled front seats. And you can't say that about a lot of cars outside the luxury class, but this, you can get it as part of a $2,250 technology package. Also bundles the panoramic dual sunroofs there, let in a lot of light and kind of keep the cabin with that upscale ambience as well. Now the Sonata, remember this car's sister car, is a good looking car, but it goes for a more contemporary, everyday, good looking, swooping curves, a little more acceptable. the Kia is not afraid to push some design boundaries. And whether or not you like it, I guess that's going to be up to you, and we'll see how the sales numbers come back to see if the public likes it or not. But pretty aggressive design elements on the side here with this upturned rear window, this strong chrome strip that comes all the way back and ends at the base of the C-pillar. Very vivid rear tail lights here. They illuminate quite nicely at night. And again, ends in a pretty simple, pretty average trunk, I guess. But of course, dual tailpipes, which looks pretty nice. We like the symmetrical look for this cheap price. We're surprised to see that. Also, the big trunk is nice. This car has a pretty big opening, and it's deep, and you can easily fold down the rear seats with a pull of this rear trunk mounted access, so you've got a lot of room in there if you need it. You know, around the side we've got a couple of touches we like and a couple we don't. I like the chrome trim on the pull handles for the doors. That's classy. I like this spear of a turn signal indicator in the side mirrors. This part, this fake side vent here, it's getting a little cliche. Everyone's doing that these days, and if you don't have a history of some sort of side vent, I'm not sure you need it. Kia obviously doesn't, but here they are anyway. 17-inch wheels on this, and some El Cheapo Korean tires we've never heard of and never want to hear of again. They actually give you quite a lot of road noise. That's their downfall, but they don't howl that bad in aggressive turns. I expected worse, actually, but I guess their big downfall is too much road noise, especially on concrete freeways. But around here, some pretty aggressive design elements, fog lights set nice and low. Overall, we pretty much like the look of this car. Certain colors, of course, look better than others, but for the most part, this is a pretty good looking design, we think. Like I said, we'll have to see what the sales hold up as, but overall, the 2011 Optima is a great buy. Again, we're talking the sweet spot of the market. $25,000, nicely equipped, 200 horsepower, so you're not relegated to the slow lane, and also you know, comfortable interior with space for 5, no problem. Returns good fuel efficiency. That's on the forefront of everyone's mind these days, but if you're returning in the low 30s in real world, there's not much we can complain about there. So overall, definitely look into this car if you're in the family sedan market. Test drive it and give it a fair shake. Between the Sonata and the Kia, there's probably a car in there that'll fit your needs.